Okay, so today we are going to model the assets for our nature tutorial. This is going to be for the lily pad scene of that nature video I made recently. So basically we are going to model the lily pads, the flower, and the sprout stuff. It's pretty simple. We're starting with the lily pads, just being in a circle. Make the polygons a bit low, like 15, because we're going to add a subdivision modifier. We're going to make it 2. This is for like the close-up lily pads. The ones in the background, you can make it into one subdivision. Sometimes even no subdivision, it's just blurred out. What you need to do is you need to extrude, inset the face, and bring it down now. And then you can also go to the item menu and add some creasing to the edges of the model. And now all I'm doing is adding that to wedge at the end here and bringing the corners closer, so we have this nice lily pad structure. Now all we need to do is make some variants. So I'm going to duplicate our lily pad and just change a few things, like make the edges sharper, make the sides a bit more flat, and make it a bit more like distorted, a little bit more. And then I'm just going to duplicate it again and change a bit more. And so now we have 3 lily pad structures to duplicate and set on our scene. Whenever you duplicate your lily pads, you want to Alt D your meshes. It's very good now because if you want to edit your model, all the variants that are the same model, it'll change with it, as you can see here. Now we are going to make those small circles. So basically it's just a circle, fold circle, press F to fill it, and subdivide it. That's all. You don't even need to subdivide it because it's so small. And now we are going to move on to these other sprouts. So extrude it, make the tip a bit small, add a loop cut, make it a bit thicker, and then go to the bottom, extrude the bottom, and make it a bit smaller. And then we are going to subdivide it. I'm going to leave it at 1 because this is going to be small, so we're not gonna see a lot of these hard faces. Now we go to the bottom, we inset it, and we make it as small as possible. And now to extrude the faces where your mouth is, all you need to do is press Ctrl and right click to where you want it to be. So as you can see, I put the cursor on the left, I press Ctrl and press the right click on the mouse. And then we're just going to crease in the edge loop at the bottom of our lily and bring the origin of the model to the bottom. So now if we rotate it, it can just follow that axis, you know. Finally, we are moving on to the last thing we're going to model, and that is going to be the flower. All you need to do is just make it very thin, and then in the middle add a loop cut and make that middle loop cut bigger. And now we have a hard edged petal shape, and we just need to mold it to how a petal bends. I'm going to press Ctrl B on the center loop cut, and then I'm going to scroll the mouse a bit until we get like 5 or 6 loops, and then I'm just going to edit it to make it look a bit more like a petal, you know. I would normally array it into a circle, but this is way more easier if you just go to edit mode and duplicate the petals, and then you just rotate to its position. Because what I'm going to do is I'm going to make each petal a bit distorted and different from the others, so that it's not a uniform it's not uniform all the way around. It's a bit different. So now as you can see, I'm just hiding all the petals besides one, and then I'm just editing each petal on its own. So a bit more slanted, a bit more rotated, or a bit more skew. There we go. We're just going to scale it a bit down, and then we're going to go to edit mode and duplicate all 4 petals, rotate it on the Z axis, and bring it a bit down so it doesn't intersect. Now we have our base flower ready. All we need to do now is we need to duplicate that base flower and go to edit mode and extrude it on the Z axis. And now for this top petal, we can Alt D this mesh, because the bottom petal will be different from the top petals, but these 2 meshes that I duplicated, they are going to be the same. So all I need to do is Alt D it so that it can copy the information of the previous models. And then I'm just going to parent it to the bottom petal so that I can move the bottom and then the rest will follow. And then bring in a sphere. You don't need to make it higher resolution because you're not going to see it that much. And you can also delete the bottom half of it because it's going to act as our center of the flower that has all these the other strands. And to make those strands, we are going to just duplicate one of the petals, press P to separate it from the model, and then we're going to make this the particle for our particle system. So go on to that center flower, press hair on the particle system, and then make it a bit shorter. As you can see, it's sprouting everywhere. And then we also want to make the number of the hairs less, so I'm going to make it 150 here. At the end I'm going to make it 250. Now we can go to the render options, press object, and then pick the petal, and then we can play with the scale and the randomness of the scale till you get something like this. There we have some nice hair particles for our center flower. And now it's up to you now how you want to play with it. What I did is I went to the advanced particle settings, went down, click the rotation, then made everything go on the Z axis. All I did after that is randomize it a bit and change the phase until everything is facing relatively upwards, but a bit more tangled. There we have it. We have our center flower. And if you want to, you can just edit it a bit. You can maybe add more petals. You can make a different flower. It's all up to you now. But this is basically how I model the assets for my lily pad scene. The next tutorial is going to be about lighting the scene and setting it up. But that is it for now. I hope you learned something and hope this helped. Alright, bye.